Basketball recruiting, Indiana still, it's been a quiet recruiting time for Indiana. And I keep hearing a lot of guards. There's a lot of guard play. We don't know. They've not been a lot of talk from the staff about what their style is going to be. I think we're kind of guessing from the talent that we're seeing kind of going in and coming out. It's going to be a much more up-tempo style of play for Indiana basketball, it looks like, because it seems like they are really going to be more reliant on getting up and down the floor, being able to create plays from the personnel that they're adding and not adding, I guess I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they'll probably play a little bit quicker, but college basketball generally tends to settle into a certain range. It's hard to be a full-time, fast-breaking outfit. And it doesn't play like that in the NFL anymore. I think that what you'll see from Mike Woodson, because he's played because he's played and coached in the NBA, but especially the years he's coached, what the NBA understands better than anyone is how important space is on the floor. And that's what we've talked about before Indiana lacked. And I don't think there's any question that whatever they go out and get over the course of the next year, they're going to get players who have more varied offensive skills than the group that will ultimately be replacing. They had a number of players whose skill set was not conducive to playing a wider game. They needed to play compact because that was where they were effective. And I think that you'll see over the course of the next year them getting more players who have the ability to play away from the goal, to play that stretch game, because that's where the game is gone. That's where basketball is now. How did Baylor win an NCAA championship? They won it because they stretched teams with their three-point shooting beyond the breaking point. That's how they were able to win. They won with a 6'4" power forward and a 6'9" center who you couldn't throw the ball to. That's the reality. That's how they won. Their three guards kept the floor stretched, and so defenses struggled to contain the bounce because there was so much space, and they struggled to contain, to stay with 3-point shooters. I mean, we talked before, way back when the game was played, about that first defensive possession for Gonzaga of the second half. How Jared Butler just kept, when after it went badly for the first 30 seconds, and Baylor was fortunate to get an offensive rebound, and then it was going badly for the next 20. And Jared Butler just said, you know what? I'm just going to keep backing up until you can't go with me any longer, and I'll shoot it from there. He shot it in, and the game was pretty much over at that point. That's something that I think Indiana will aspire to, because they see that having that ability to stretch the floor ultimately makes you a dynamic team. The team that won the Big Ten this year, Michigan, they stretched the floor with all five of their four of their five players. Hunter Dickinson was the only one who played close to the goal most of the time. And that's what you need to be in order to be successful in the NBA. And I think that Indiana's advantage that the state of Indiana continues to turn out really gifted offensive basketball players who have great skill, who are taught how to have great skill, and are taught to understand the game at a pretty high level relative to leaving high school. So I think that they need to be maybe selective and not have to recruit exclusively in Indiana and get the best of the Indiana players that they have access to. But I think that's, I think they'll have a really good plan. They've hired a great staff to put that together, and I think you'll see them go in those directions.